Hey everybody, Steve here. So on our trip out west to Denver, we stopped in Estes Park, Colorado, home of the Stanley Hotel. F.O. Stanley, have you heard of the Stanley steamer cars? If you ever watched Jay Leno's car stuff, really interesting. Made his fortune there. Built a home there. It was kind of a getaway for all his rich friends for the longest time, and then they opened it up to a hotel. And this was actually the inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining, the book The Shining, and the movie with Jack Nicholson, which Stephen King kind of hated, but that's a story here in a little bit. But this is some shots of the hotel. It's a really beautiful hotel, and they filmed a lot of movies there. But the story was Stephen King and his wife. It was the very, very tail end of the season. They were the last ones to stay there this one particular season. Stayed in the room, had a nightmare. Kind of inspired them to, what would it be like if you were a caretaker stuck in a hotel like this for a long time, and really inspired him, this hotel. He didn't care for the movie, Stanley Kubrick movie. So he, back in, I guess, 97, they shot a miniseries there actually at the Stanley Hotel. The movie The Shining, Stanley Kubrick movie, was not shot at this hotel, which is interesting, but other sites inspired the place. But anyway, really, really nice hotel, nice area. Of course, it was a beautiful day, and they have a Shining tour there. Where they take you through and talk about it and the inspirations and things like that. But I didn't know they did a miniseries back in '97, but they did. Here's kind of a timeline. You can freeze it and take a look and see, when the movies were shot. Not only the Shining miniseries, but also Dumb and Dumber, of all things, was filmed there. You've seen that movie with Jim Carrey. Now, the story was that Jim Carrey stayed in the room that Stephen King stayed in that inspired him to do The Shining. They tell the story that he came downstairs in his boxer shorts and said, I can't stay here anymore, and ended up staying down at the Holiday Inn instead of this hotel while they were shooting this movie, which is kind of funny. But a lot of movie props and everything else they have here. But here's the kind of the ballroom where they shot one of the scenes from the miniseries. And actually, the whole area there was white. And for cinematic purposes, Stephen King asked them to paint it over. So that's actually plaster painted over. And you can see the light fixture there kind of cockeyed a little bit. And you see the white underneath it. But that's not wood. That's actually plaster. See the white there around the light fixture on the wall? They painted it to look like wood, which is kind of cool. They also didn't have a hedgerow until a few years ago. They decided to plant one there. They planted something else at first, and the deer liked it so much they had to find something the deer wouldn't eat, which I fully understand. I have that problem here at my house. But here's some shots. Nice, then there's some outbuildings. They have a film festival here, Stanley Film Festival, where they do horror movies. Here's Johnny. There I am doing the little door thing. The actual caretaker, if you know this Shining story about the caretaker, this cool little patio is done up like the carpet in the hotel, but this is the actual caretaker's home in the wintertime when Stanley and all his rich friends would go. He would stay. There he is. For the longest time, they stayed there, took care of the hotel and the grounds. It's actually a nice little house. Very modern for the time, kind of turn of the century, early 20th century. Upstairs is kind of a Shining movie tribute. Here's a shot of the kitchen, which is again pretty modern for the time. But upstairs, like I said, is a tribute. Here's a Stephen King portrait. Kind of an homage to the movie. Here's the carpet that's done up like the carpet in the hotel. And here's a picture from the movie. You see Jack Nicholson down in the bottom center there. Kind of controversial ending, and what's the deal there? But like I said, Stephen King didn't care for the movie. Funny enough. But here's the recreation of the bathroom, famous bathroom. Here's a movie prop. This is actually styrofoam, so they were worried. They didn't want Jack Nicholson falling down, and cut himself. The two little girls. That's a fun little picture. That one on the left is she's not very attractive. She's a shave. But there's me and Bella goofing off a little bit. Here's the bar from Dumb and Dumber. I'll show that a little bit more. But here's one of the Stanley steamer cars out in the lobby, which is pretty cool. They had a music room that had John Philip Sousa would come and play and would tune the piano, and he actually would put his initials in there. And when they redid the hotel, whoever it was that kind of redid it was real proud. Said, "Hey, I got all those scratches and initials out of the piano, buffed them right out." And just like, no, that was John Philip Sousa that did that. But this reading rooms and salons and very nice. Is that scene where Jim Carrey was in the bar and sees that on the wall? He's like, "No kidding! Congratulations! How about that?" It was pretty funny. Anyway, nice, quick, well worth the tour, well worth the time. So I hope you enjoyed the quick little tour, and we'll see you later.